The grand hall of the Zarynn Empire shimmered with violet lights, reflecting off the crystalline walls. The royal court stood in silence as Princess Velyara ascended the dais, her sapphire-hued skin glowing beneath the ethereal chandeliers. She had just returned from the Galactic summit, where countless suitors had sought her hand. Now, in front of her father, Emperor Zarynn, and the gathered nobility, she made her declaration. "I will marry anyone but the human," she said, her voice resolute. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Humans had been a rising force in the galactic sphere, and though they were physically unimpressive compared to the warlike races, they had proven themselves cunning, resilient, and unpredictable. But to Velyara, they were beneath her, primitive creatures that had no place in royal bloodlines. The Emperor exhaled deeply, his silver crown gleaming. "And yet, my daughter, it is the human who has met every challenge set forth by our traditions." Velyara's fists clenched. She had expected a contest between noble warriors, Krillian berserkers, Zorvathi strategists, perhaps even an Elantip scion, but not a human. And yet, Captain Elias Voss had defeated them all. The challenge had been simple: any suitor vying for the princess's hand must prove their worth in 3 trials: combat, intellect, and the trial of the soul. Elias, with his lean frame and calm demeanor, had entered the arena against foes twice his size. He had evaded, countered, and outmaneuvered warriors who had spent lifetimes honing their battle skills. Where brute strength failed him, adaptability and sheer nerve carried him through. Then came the test of intellect, a battle of strategy against the Zorvathi grandmasters. Elias had studied every move, every historical campaign, and dismantled their defenses with a human ingenuity that defied prediction. But it was the trial of the soul that had shaken Velyara the most. It was a test of one's essence, a glimpse into the purity of their spirit. The sacred flames had shown Elias standing against an endless abyss, unwavering. Where others faltered in the face of their greatest fears, he had stared into the void and refused to yield. Now, as the emperor and the court awaited her decision, Velyara's pride burned hotter than any flame. "A human cannot rule by my side," she insisted. Elias, standing at the base of the dais, gave her a lopsided grin. "Good thing I never wanted to rule," he said. "I just wanted to see what all the fuss was about." The court gasped. No suitor had ever spoken so brazenly. Velyara narrowed her eyes. "You risked your life just to mock me?" Elias shrugged. "I heard a princess declared she'd marry anyone but a human." That sounded like a challenge. The nobles whispered among themselves. The audacity. The defiance. And yet, the sheer confidence intrigued them. The emperor chuckled, his deep voice echoing through the hall. "It seems you've misjudged him, daughter. He did not fight for your hand. He fought because he refuses to be overlooked." For the first time, Velyara truly looked at Elias, not as an unworthy contender, not as a lesser species, but as something else entirely. He had no desire for power, no ambition to control. He was simply a force that could not be ignored. And that unsettled her more than anything.